zombie cells. Your cells stop dividing and start poisoning you. Scientists call these zombie cells, and they are one of the most disturbing discoveries in modern aging research. As you get older, certain cells in your body stop working but refuse to die, and instead of quietly shutting down, they begin releasing toxic chemicals into surrounding tissue. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic found that these senescent cells, as they are officially called, actively drive inflammation throughout the body and have been linked to everything from arthritis to heart disease to cognitive decline. This is where it gets worse. The older you get, the faster these zombie cells accumulate, creating a kind of internal chemical warfare your body struggles to fight. Animal studies published in Nature Medicine showed that selectively clearing senescent cells extended healthy lifespan and reduced disease markers significantly. The real danger is that you cannot feel this process happening. There is no pain, no obvious symptom, just a slow, invisible accumulation of cellular damage building silently for decades. The gut takeover. Your gut microbiome becomes a completely different ecosystem. The trillions of bacteria living inside your digestive system change dramatically as you age, and not in ways that help you. Research published in the journal Cell Host and Microbe found that after age 65, the microbial diversity inside your gut drops significantly, reducing populations of beneficial bacteria that regulate immunity, mood, and inflammation. This is where it gets worse. The bacteria that thrive in an aging gut tend to be pro-inflammatory species, meaning your internal ecosystem gradually shifts toward one that actively promotes disease rather than preventing it. Scientists at University College Cork discovered that elderly people living in long-term care facilities had gut profiles so depleted that their immune systems showed measurably higher levels of systemic inflammation compared to same-age adults living independently. But here's the problem. Most people assume digestive issues after 50 are simply normal aging, never realizing the gut changes happening beneath the surface are quietly influencing their brain, heart, and immune system simultaneously. If you're finding this information valuable and want to protect your health as you age, please take 1 second to hit the subscribe button. It helps our small channel create more animated guides just like this one. Your brain turns against you. Your brain starts misidentifying threats and attacking itself. One of the least discussed aspects of aging is how the immune system inside your brain, specifically cells called microglia, begins to malfunction over time. Under normal conditions, microglia act as the brain's cleanup crew, clearing out debris and pathogens efficiently. But research from Stanford University found that aging microglia become chronically overactivated, essentially stuck in a permanent state of alarm, releasing inflammatory signals that damage healthy neurons instead of protecting them. This is where it gets worse. This internal neurological inflammation has been directly linked to the development of Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's, two of the most feared conditions associated with aging. The real danger is that this process begins silently, years before any cognitive symptoms appear, which means the window to intervene shrinks long before most people even begin to worry. Scientists now believe calming microglial overactivation may become one of the most important targets in future dementia prevention. The thirst that disappears. Your sense of thirst disappears and your kidneys quietly fail. As you age, your hypothalamus, the part of your brain that regulates thirst, becomes significantly less sensitive to signals that your body needs water. Research published in the Journal of Gerontology confirmed that older adults experience dramatically reduced thirst sensation even during states of significant dehydration. But here is the problem. At the same time, your kidney function declines, making it harder for your body to concentrate urine and conserve water efficiently. This combination creates a dangerous gap where you are simultaneously losing water faster and feeling no urge to replace it. The real danger is the downstream effects. Chronic mild dehydration in older adults has been linked to increased confusion, higher risk of kidney stones, urinary tract infections, and accelerated cognitive decline. Many hospitalizations in adults over 70 are directly caused by dehydration that went unnoticed for days, simply because the person never felt thirsty. Your brain stops cleaning itself. Your sleep stops cleaning your brain. Deep sleep is not just rest. It is the period when your brain activates a cleaning system called the glymphatic pathway that flushes out toxic waste products accumulated throughout the day. Research from the University of Rochester showed this system is dramatically more active during deep sleep stages than during wakefulness. This is where it gets worse. After age 60, the amount of deep sleep most people get drops by roughly 50 to 70% compared to younger adults, meaning the brain's nightly cleaning cycle becomes severely compromised. The toxic proteins that accumulate when this system underperforms include amyloid beta and tau, the exact same proteins that form the plaques and tangles found in Alzheimer's brains. The terrifying part is that this is not a future risk. Every night of poor deep sleep is a missed cleaning cycle, and those missed cycles compound over years and decades into measurable neurological damage with no warning signs along the way. Stone arteries. Your arteries calcify and turn into stone. It sounds extreme, but it is literally accurate. A process called vascular calcification causes calcium to deposit inside arterial walls as people age, gradually hardening vessels that should remain flexible and elastic. Studies published in the European Heart Journal found that arterial calcification is detectable in the majority of adults over 60 and is strongly linked to heart attack, stroke, and heart failure risk. This is where it gets worse. Unlike cholesterol buildup, which can sometimes be partially reversed with medication and lifestyle changes, calcified deposits in arteries are extremely difficult to remove once established. The real danger is the compounding effect on blood pressure. As arteries stiffen, blood pressure rises even in people eating healthy diets and exercising regularly because the mechanical problem inside the vessel wall has already progressed beyond what lifestyle alone can correct. Many people discover calcification only after a cardiac event, not before. Fat invades your muscles. Your muscles become infiltrated by fat. Sarcopenia, the medical term for age-related muscle loss, is well known. But what most people are never told is that the muscles you do retain after 50 are not the same quality of muscle you had at 30. A process called Myosteatosis causes fat to infiltrate muscle tissue at the cellular level, essentially replacing functional muscle fibers with lipid deposits that look like muscle on the outside but perform like fat on the inside. Research published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that intramuscular fat increases significantly with age and correlates directly with reduced strength, poor balance, and increased metabolic dysfunction. But here is the problem. Standard body weight measurements cannot detect this internal shift. Someone can weigh exactly the same at 65 as they did at 40 and still have dramatically less functional muscle due to fat infiltration happening invisibly inside the tissue itself. Loneliness rewires your brain. Loneliness rewires your brain to expect danger. This is not metaphorical. Chronic social isolation in older adults causes measurable neurological changes that fundamentally alter how the brain processes the world. Research from the University of Chicago found that lonely individuals show significantly elevated activity in the brain's threat detection systems, essentially training the brain to interpret neutral social situations as potentially hostile. This is where it gets worse. Once this rewiring occurs, it becomes self-reinforcing because a brain primed for social threat begins avoiding the exact social interactions that could reverse the damage. The real danger goes beyond psychology. Chronic loneliness triggers the same biological stress responses as physical danger, elevating cortisol, increasing inflammation, and suppressing immune function on a daily basis. A landmark meta-analysis of over 3 million people found that social isolation increases the risk of premature death by 26%, placing it firmly alongside smoking and obesity as a genuine medical risk factor rather than simply an emotional one. If you want to understand how your body actually works as you get older, subscribe to the channel so you do not miss our next visual manual. Also, let me know down in the comments which of these myths surprised you the most, or if there is a specific longevity trend you want us to look into next.